Hello everyone and welcome. I'm VelvettB and thank you for joining me today. We are going to be looking at build mods. So building mods for The Sims 4. So this is probably something more for players that are just getting into building and want to have a wee look or an exploration of which building mods they want to maybe use in Sims 4 when they are building. So I'm just going to take a quick look at a few of the mods that I think are fantastic, and you guys can hopefully find a new mod or two yourself. So first up, we're going to take a look at BUILDBUY by Twisted MEXI. So this is this mod here. You can find all of Twisted MEXI's mods on twistedmexi.com ready to download. They've got some amazing mods, by the way, but we'll get into a little bit more of that in a minute. So we're going to focus on BUILDBUY for this section. So this is basically an organized debug system. It has better filters, expandable catalog, favorites, it's got cheats and more. So it's my go-to mod for building in The Sims 4. So let's take a wee look at it. So organized debug, it actually comes up as a menu in your BUILDBUY menu. So it actually extends on the menu that's already there. So you'll see this BUILDBUY section. So it has organized debug, move objects on. I always have that on. It's my favorite go-to building cheat. Move objects on and takes things off the grid. Ignore unlocks. So what that does is it ignores the locked items in the game. So if you had something locked by, say, a career reward, this unlocks these items and makes them available to build with. So this is the Thinker, which is unlocked at level 4 of the Writer career. We can actually now use that as a building item. Normally you can't actually access that without an unlock cheat. So I usually have that on. And deletion protection, so this is just if something happens. So deletion protection is now active. This prevents BUILDBUY from deleting any objects and can be used to sidestep the bug where architecture changes incorrectly remove objects. Undo on architecture may be unavailable while this is enabled and use only when necessary, then turn it off. So that's just like a little bit of an extra protection. I usually don't have that on, but up to you on that one. The biggest thing about BUILDBUY is the organized debug. So what that means is that when you go to search in items, so you want to go into content and click on debug and live edit. So that activates the debug and live edit options as visible in your build menus. And then you can go into the section and voila, your debug live edit options are now available. You can see there is 0 value. Which means that they are the debug items, and you can just go into the different areas in your build area to find different debug items. There is also objects by function. There's actually also a debug option here and a live edit option here as well, and it will show you all of the items that will come up under debug and live edit as well. Transport, if you're wondering, you just go into your outdoors section and click on your transportation, and you've got all your debug cars, etc., etc. there. So that is probably one of the best things about this particular mod, is being able to sort through the debug section a lot easier. But I do absolutely love the fact that you can control custom content. So if you have custom content in your game, what you can do is select custom content, and if you only want to see the custom content, you hit hide maxis, just like that. So you'll be able to see the CC items. Super easy. I love that as well. If I'm building with CC, it's a must have. And of course, having the cheats already up and working and ready to go for building, it just makes it so much easier. So that is BUILDBUY by Twisted MEXI. So there are some other smaller build mods that do actually come into play with the BUILDBUY mod. So if you want to go a little bit smaller at first, have a wee look on Twisted MEXI's site. Okay, first up there is the cheat fix. So this re-enables all the in-game cheats that were disabled in the season's patch. Always move objects on. So always move. So that means all move objects will always be on. Always free build. So that allows free build mode always enabled. A super helpful one is build by deletion bug fix. So protects objects while editing architecture in BUILDBUY. So that is part again of the BUILDBUY mod. And expandable BUILDBUY catalog. So basically that's a little toggle in the game that allows you to see more of the game items. So in build mode, I just hit the number 1 and that it basically expands the menu there, so we can look at a lot more all at once while you're building if you're having to scroll through just to see what items are there. So it is really helpful if you want to scroll through and just have an instant look at the items, and you can just toggle that back off again by hitting 1 again. All right, next up we're going to take a look at T.O.O.L. So again, this is by Twisted MEXI. Twisted MEXI does an amazing job with build mods. I think if you have a look at their site, you'll be able to see some amazing mods. I'll get into probably the most popular mods from their selection today, but T.O.O.L is definitely one of the more advanced building mods that you can get. This can be accessed a couple of ways. So if you do not have BUILDBUY, you can access T.O.O.L via live mode. So you've got to have a sim on the lot, obviously, because you can't go into live mode without a sim on the lot. And how to access it from this area here is you want to push shift and then click on the item. You'll have T.O.O.L as an option, and then you can do each of the options available for building in T.O.O.L. So you can elevate, move, rotate, and scale. I would say this is definitely a bit more of an advanced mod. It's really good to have a play around with it, get to know it, and understand it. So if we're going to elevate that object, we're going to maybe put in a value of 5. And then you can see the object is floating quite high up there, and we'll go -5, and that'll take it right back down to where it was. So that's sort of a few options there. Now this is from live mode. This is if you do not have BUILDBUY. If you do have BUILDBUY, go into build mode and push shift T, and that brings up your tool extension menu. So you'll have move, elevate, rotate, scale, just like in live mode, and you'll have options as well to undo, redo, toggle group, delete group, hide grouping box, change settings, and etc. So you can move, you can elevate, you can rotate the items. So say we wanted to rotate the bed, you can change the axis. So this is the horizontal axis and then the vertical axis. You can see that that changes it. And maybe we want to go 45 degrees. And you've got a rotated bed, not very useful for the Sims, but you can rotate items and you can change the scale of the items as well. If we wanted to go 2, I've made it bigger, just like that. So you can do all sorts of amazing things with T.O.O.L. It is an incredible mod, but it does take a lot of mucking around, playing with, and bits and pieces just to learn how it all sort of works. But I highly recommend it as if you want to get super creative with builds in The Sims 4, then T.O.O.L is going to be a really good tool to help you out. So now we're going to take a little break from Twisted MEXI. We're going to come back to Twisted MEXI in a minute, but we're going to have a wee look at amazing shelf tool, and this is called the OMSP Plus mod by RAVASHEEN. Comes up as a CC object in the game. If we type in OMSP, you'll see here you get the positioner faux wall, smart shelf, positioner faux wall short and medium. So you got the tool short and medium. What I'm going to select now is the smart shelf. So you use that to really easily place things like clutter, particularly. Absolutely fantastic for that. If you move it or delete it, I mean, the items will go with it like that. So just leave it there. And what's going to happen is that when you go into live mode, you shouldn't see it. If you do still see it in live mode, there's an option just to click on the shelf and toggle it off. So that's the OMSP Plus shelf from RAVASHEEN. So perfect for doing a lot of clutter. So we're going back to Twisted MEXI now, and another mod that is super useful is the No Weather BUILDBUY. So as you can see here, it's winter, it's snowing, and it can be quite difficult to build in winter. So we're going to go into build mode, and just like that, the weather is gone. We can see what we're doing. It's very useful if you build in all sorts of weather and you want to be able to see what you're doing. It's a very handy mod from that perspective. No Weather BUILDBUY by Twisted MEXI. Now, speaking of weather, I'm going to talk about another mod that is super useful both for gameplay and for build mode, but I'm going to specifically talk about the things that I find handy with this particular mod. It is the UI Cheats mod by WEERBESU. So you can use this mod for a whole lot of things. Very useful for gameplay, definitely. But I actually use this all the time for building as well. So we just talked about the No Weather BUILDBUY from Twisted MEXI. I also actually use this one for weather as well. So with the UI cheats, you can actually right click on different sections of the UI and make some changes. So we can change the season. So if I wanted to go to say fall, and then I wanted to change the weather, so maybe we want to have a blizzard in the middle of fall, then we can do that. So that's really useful if you want to do like a seasonal build, or again if you want to change the actual season, if you're building in winter and hey, maybe you want to advance and make it a more summery build or something like that, then you can do that. You can actually also adjust the money. So sometimes if you are building and you need a little bit more cash, it's great to be able to just add, you know, 1 million simoleons there for your character. Hey, you can make them a millionaire just like that. So I actually use this quite a bit as far as build mode goes. You can actually also change the time. So if you're building, it's nighttime and you want to change to daytime, so you just change to a different time of day. So now it's 10 a.m. We're in fall and it's a blizzard. So this is UI Cheats by WEERBESU. Super useful for changing seasons, adding money, and adjusting the time as well. So the next useful mod we are going to take a look at is again by MEXI. Seriously, genius. And this is the Better Inventory mod. So this is useful for looking things up in your inventory, believe it or not. So if you wanted to look up, say, herb, it'll bring up the items more easily. So if we wanted to, say, type in bottle, you get all the items that come up under bottle. It's just a really nice, easy way of searching through the build by menu without having to worry too much about how the Sims have classified it. It's simpler. So it does make it easier to find things. So it's quite a useful mod. Okay, last up, we're going to take a trip to Sulani, the gorgeous Sulani. And this is the last Twisted MEXI mod and the last mod I'm going to talk about today. So this is the Coastal Pools and Basements mod. So if you're not aware, in the usual times of The Sims 4, you can't actually build a pool on the beach, in the beach lots in Sulani. Whereas with this mod, you can actually do that. And you can't build basements in Sulani either. So once again, with this mod, you can actually build your basements. Now, you can't go into the water, so just be aware of that. With some of the items, there's a limit to how far you are able to go. At the pools, you can, but with the basements, you can't go in the water. So just be aware of what you can and can't do. But if you were wanting to build a pool on the bottom level in Sulani, on the ground level, then you can actually do that with the Coastal Pools and Basements mod from Twisted MEXI. It does make it a little bit easier if you are building in Sulani to actually, build the house of your dreams. So that wraps up my little look at some of the wonderful build mods that are out there. I'll put the links in the description below to the creators so that you can go and find these mods for yourself, and I do recommend them. So first up, we're going to take a look at how to put mods into your game if you're not too sure. So you've downloaded the mod, so you make sure you have your downloads file open, and if they are a zipped file, what you'll need to do is just unzip the file, just like so, and then in your documents file, this is on PC, by the way, it's a Windows PC, I don't know how to do it on Mac, I'm really sorry. So you go into documents, select electronic arts, double click, go into the Sims 4, and in here you've got your mods file. So this is where all of your mods go. So all you need to do is drag the mod into this file. So I'm going to skip because I've already got it in there, but you can see here I've got all my mods here, and yeah, easy as that, and then that's the mod installed. You do need to keep these up to date, and if there are any issues with starting your game, you'll need to go through and check if any of these items are out of date, or there has been an update and the mods have got broken, as it happens now and then with The Sims 4. But easy as that to get it into your game. So you just click and drag it from your download file into your mods file, under documents, electronic arts, The Sims 4, and then go into mods, just like that. Make sure you unzip the item first if it is zipped. So best of luck with your building mods, and I hope you have a lot of fun with them. Have a good day. Bye!